Wonderful. So welcome. It's the first class for the new year, and we've got a series of four over the next 4 Mondays, taking us through January. I'm going back to introducing some challenges, which some people like, some people don't. And we're doing one tonight, which I don't think we've done before, but I have referred to it previously. So it's a twist. It's working with side body. It's around stability for running. It's also around sort of safe core movement as well. So see how we go. We're going to do plenty of preparation. So all the sessions are going to be down low. So we're going to start on our back. So coming onto your back, if you're not already there, and having your knees bent with your feet on the floor. So, a common starting place for us. And you will, you might end up sighing or yawning, depending on what sort of day you've had. And you might feel weight through the body. So you might feel weight through the back of the head, through the back of the shoulders, shoulder blades, through the arms, through the pelvis and the bump kind of area, that weight in the center. You might feel a little bit of weight through the feet. So just notice what you feel there. Let the breath come into your kind of frame. So just see if you're holding your breath or whether your breath's quite tight or free. You want to do a deeper breath just to kind of relax it or remind it to kind of go a little bit more, be a bit fuller, then go for that. Okay, and then we're going to just move the knees slightly side to side. So the feet are on the floor at this point and the knees are just going side to side, which means we're effectively just rolling across pelvis. So nice, straightforward, hopefully, start. And you just have a rhythm there. Most people just have a rhythm with the knees that rocks across the pelvis. And you'll feel movement in your side body. So just being conscious of your side body as we start, how that feels. And if you know, or you have a sense of whether your side body is kind of a strength part of your core, or whether you don't really notice that at all, or whether it's somewhere you get tired when you're running. So just being interested in that area of your body, particularly from the rib cage down to your hips, pelvis. Okay, so from here, just let the arms lengthen up. So palms face each other. So your arms are going to be shoulder distance apart. And then as your knees go in one direction, just take your arms in the opposite direction, keeping that same distance of shoulder distance between. So we're just loosening up, seeing how we are around center, seeing how we are in the side bodies, seeing how smooth we can move from side to side. Okay, and then pause and bring the arms back down. So we're just going to change the movement slightly. And all I mean by that, so take the feet off the floor. So knees are heading towards the sky, but the feet are relaxed and the lower legs are relaxed. And again, just take the knees side to side. So this rocking can still be the same, might still feel exactly the same, but you might notice there's a bit more tone, at least in the belly, maybe in the side body, maybe not. It might take a little bit more effort to move yourself from side to side than it did with the rocking earlier. Okay, so we can bring in the arms, so reaching the arms up, shoulders actually come away from the floor, and then start the opposite business. So arms go one way, legs and thighs go, legs and thighs and part of your legs go in the opposite direction. And just again, find a rhythm. And relax the arms down, just bring the feet back down to the ground for a moment, and that might bring weight through the pelvis, might feel a bit more stable in the center, might be a bit more aware of that area, and the side body might also be a bit more available to your awareness. Okay, so we're going to up things a little bit. So taking the feet off the floor and knees heading towards the sky, but this time lift the lower legs up. So you're going to have your ankles and your knees in line, it's like you're sitting on a chair, or you're lying down, and activate the ankles. So the toes head up towards the sky. Now that might start to activate everything going on in your belly a little bit more. Notice what's going on in your lower back. So if you've got a soft curve, that's fine. But if you're starting to arch or feel like you're arching more than you normally would, and that's going to create strain, bring the belly in further and take the lower back down. Have the arms more at shoulder level, so out to the sides. Palms up's fine. And bring the legs slightly closer together. So you might be touching, or they might be just slightly closer than hip distance. Okay, so we're going to twist over to one side now. So the legs go either towards the ground or all the way to the ground, depending how much space you've got in the body. And you keep in whatever, both shoulders down on the floor. Yes, that'll decide. Okay, we're going to come back up now. So that takes some effort. You might use the out breath to get yourself back up. And going over with control to the opposite side. Keeping the legs in that same position, that kind of 90-degree. And landing or hovering for a second. Use your out breath, bring your belly in, get yourself back to center. So 3 more times with your own kind of rhythm. So it might be much quicker than that first time. Might be slow. It might not be completely over to the side. It might be over to the side, but you're trying to go over to the side, but still keep your shoulders down on the ground if you can. If you can't, just kind of, as I said, suggest as you hover if possible. So we would be doing a total of 4. So I'm on my 3rd one. You may have lost count. See how that feels, particularly on this last one, how it feels down the side body from the rib cage down towards the hips. If that feels strong, whether it feels nice and easy to lengthen or not. Okay, and then when you're back in neutral after those 4, soften back down and bring the feet to the floor and bring the arms a little bit closer in, just so they're comfortable, so the shoulders can rest down a little bit more, and feel maybe how the body's now landed on the ground. So we had a brief moment of checking that out. We started. So for most people, you'll have more weight, you'll have more sense of the belly, at least, maybe the side ribs as well. Just see how that goes. You might have more sense of the feet on the ground. Okay, so we're going to move into arch and curl, which some people know what I mean, but you will very soon. So you're going to take your hands, interlock the fingers and take the hands underneath the back of the head, and the elbows go out to the side. Okay, so with this, I tend to use this starting position of creating a little bit more of an arch between the hips and the shoulders. So you press down a little bit more through both hips and the shoulders and maybe the elbows. So you get more of an arching of the lower back for a second. Then you take a breath out, you bring the belly in, the lower back down, bring the elbows towards each other, and then take the elbows towards the thighs. So you're picking the head and the chest comes forward. You come as far forward as you comfortably can. Feel what's going on in your side body, your belly. It might be shaking, might be fine. And then lower yourself down with control as if you're extending through the spines. That's a bit stronger for some of us. And land. Yeah, so that just means softening. Get the breath back for a second. Okay, so as you breathe in, create that arch again, pressing down through the hips and the pelvis, shoulders and elbows. Breathe out, take the belly in, bring the chest forward, elbows together, elbows towards the knees, feeling that strength through the belly, side body. Pause for a second longer and then relax yourself down. Opening up, controlling that descent if you can, widening the elbows to the side. Well done. And one more, so creating that arch, you tip forward on your pelvis and engage around the shoulder muscles and the elbows out to the side. Breathe out, take the belly in to help you with that lift as you bring the elbows in towards the thighs. And you pause, you feel the strength in the body, and then you lower yourself back down. And you release your left hand. Left arm just comes to the side body. So we've just got the right hand under the back of the head, right elbow out to the side. So we're going to do the diagonal movement now, diagonal arch and curl. So press down with your left hip and your right shoulder, as long as that doesn't feel too strong. So you've got diagonal now here. And then breathe in with the belly, same thing. This time taking your right elbow to your left knee, lifting the thigh, lifting the foot off the ground. So you're sort of twisting into center. Well done. Open out, and return to where you were, slowly controlled. Landing with the foot down, the head down, and relax the body for a second, and repeat. So pressing down left hip, right shoulder, create that diagonal arch. Breathe out, belly in, back down, twist diagonally across the body, and unwind. landing safely, smoothly, just relaxing for a second, and then repeat. So breathing in to get that diagonal between left hip, right shoulder. Out breath to almost like the belly is sucking you in towards that twist, that spiraling in. And come in reverse, i.e. coming back to where you were with an open chest, landing with the hand on the floor, back of the head centered. Okay, let's swap to the other side. So left hand now is underneath the head, arm out to the side. Okay, so this time we're going to press through the right hip as we breathe in and the left shoulder. And then we're going to breathe out, squeezing in towards the center, spiraling elbow towards knee. Careful with neck, so get a sense of long neck. Unspiral, taking the foot back, elbow back, shoulder down, back of the head rest down. Pause for a second. And repeat, breathing in, right hip to left shoulder, arch. Out breath, belly comes in, left elbow to right, inner knee, and pause. Make sure you lengthen through the side of the neck. Open up, open back, return, almost like you're getting a little bit more of a stretch open as you land. One more time. Right hip, left shoulder, out breath. Everything lower back down as you suck into the center to support that diagonal twist. Well done. And opening out to return. Okay, take the left hand away and just feel what's going on now in terms of connection to the ground. So feet, see how the feet are connecting, see how the pelvis and the bum is connected. See what parts of the back are actually connected to the floor, probably shoulder blades will, maybe back of the rib cage will. Our weight of the arms now. Okay, lovely. So we're going to move into a bridge now. So you might want to bring the feet slightly closer in. Your feet are hip distance apart. So create a bit of an arch if it's not already there with an in breath, breathing through the belly. Take the lower back down, the out breath, belly goes in. Lift the pelvis up off the floor. Lift, 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 lift. As high as you're comfortable doing. So you're coming more onto your shoulders. So this is a stronger one than we often do. Avoid the thighs falling away from each other. So like a squeezing a block between the thighs. Chin comes into chest. And then release, so releasing through the upper back to mid back to lower back. Once you are down, bring both knees in towards you for a moment, taking the bum off the floor to just get that lengthen through the lower back. Return the feet to the floor, keeping the heels close into the butt. Press down through the heels. And breathe in to get that arch. If you haven't already, breathe out, take the lower back down, push through the heels, take the pelvis up towards the sky. Avoid any issues in the lower back. Feel like you're pushing into the knees, so the pelvis goes towards the knees to lengthen. Chin towards chest, so back of the neck is long. And release down, so releasing, lengthening as you go. Any tension around the spine. Bringing the knees in again towards you, releasing that lower back so you can curl yourself up. One more time, feet back down to the ground. Heels keep tucked in. Breathing in as you expand the belly, arch the back. Breathing out, take the belly down, back down, push through the heels, take the pelvis off the floor, up towards the sky, engaging the glutes, onto your shoulders. You feel like your chin is heading towards your chest, chest towards the chin to get that openness in the back. Make sure the knees are stable, you're not drifting away with your thighs, and soften, 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 soften all the way back down. And again, bringing both knees in towards the chest for a moment. This time you can roll from side to side if you like. It's getting more of a spread through the lower back. Breathing, if you lost the breath during that. Okay, so both feet to the floor, knees bent again. And this time, just bringing one knee in towards you. Take your hands onto the shin if that's reasonably comfortable. So you're bringing the thigh reasonably close into the body, yeah? And then you create a little bit of resistance. So engage your ankle, so toes head up towards the sky. Have this sense of pressing the shin into the hands and the hands into the shin. So you really then engaged on that whole first side, whatever it is. You can feel your bones, you can feel the back and the pelvis kind of really getting stable here. And then release. That leg goes back to the ground, see where it lands. See how that feels compared to the other leg, just for a moment before we go on to the second side. Okay, then lift the second leg. Take the hands onto the shin, just below the knee, bringing that leg in fairly tightly. Okay, engage the ankle, so flex, dorsiflex the ankle, toes towards the sky. Press the hands onto the shin, as long as that feels okay on that side body. And just get that resistance going, that feeling like you're really engaged on that side line, hopefully, broadly speaking. That'll engage the side body as well, maybe. And relax, take the foot to the floor. Well done. Again, just relax the arms for a moment. Feel how you feel in center, how it feels, what the arch of the back feels like, what the weight of the heels feels like on the ground, where in the back is actually making contact with the ground, where you feel strong, where you can get your breath. Okay, wonderful. So we're just going to rock up to sitting. So just cross the ankles, maybe rock yourself up to sitting. Hello there, it's been a while since I've seen you. Okay, and then we're just going to have the hands behind us, anywhere that's comfortable. So some people like the hands out to the side, some people like the fingers behind them, fingers to the side. So you're just finding what feels safe and comfortable. And just lift the feet off the floor. Okay, so we've done a lot in center, so hopefully this feels okay. Adjust your hands as you need to from here, and then start just wriggling, wagging the feet, wagging the ankles, shaking out a little bit in the feet. As long as that doesn't get a nasty pain in your thigh. Okay, and then just bring the feet back down. Press to the feet, just lift the bum off the floor for a moment. Relieve any tension there and come back down. Okay, so this time we're going to lift the feet off the floor, and we're also going to take the arms forward. So my arms are just slightly reaching forward, slightly pressing down to the sitting bones, and then I'm picking my feet off the floor. So you might end up tipping back a bit, you might tip forward a little bit, see how it goes like that. Okay, so just make sure your arms are above your knees, and take the knees slightly to the left and the arms to the right. So it's kind of what we were doing earlier, but in a different position for the body. So we're not on our back anymore. So the back will find its support, the spine. It will completely depend upon the hips and the pelvis. Great. Great. Okay, well done. See how that feels in the side body. Okay, and get the feet back down. Take the arms behind you. Just relax your legs out. You haven't really relaxed the legs out at all. So just let your feet go from side to side, rolling around a little bit on your thighs to just loosen up for a moment. Okay, so I did say we're going to do a challenge. That you may feel we've already done it, depending on how that all went for you and how your body is today. But we're going to do this Russian twist. So I will show you my best I can. I might show from the side and from the front. So you can do it with the heels down, or you can do it with the heels up. And what you're having is you're having your upper body quite close to your rib cage rather than it flaring out. So you may then choose to do whatever you want to with your hands. You might have a soft fist and a hand just going over the top of that, or you might just keep your hands separate. So from here, whether you got your hands, you got your feet off the floor or on the floor, I'll start with my feet on the floor. You're just taking your upper body from side to side, so that's the twist bit. Now, the more you're up, the easier it might feel. the more you have a little bit of a diagonal, the more you might feel something going on in your obliques. So just have a little bit of a play with that without anything between your hands as a weight or as a kind of support. So you feel like you're moving from the rib cage, but you feel your muscles below the rib cage are engaged. Well done. Just rest for a moment, whether that's extending your legs or crossing your legs, it's up to you. Get your breath back. Okay, so we'll pause, but we'll go back to that and take the feet off the floor. That's second stage. And then we'll add in something between our hands if you want to, don't have to do that. So coming back to legs in front of you and have the arms in towards the body and whatever you're going to do with your hands. See how it is taking the heels off the floor. So you can always go back with the heels and then do the movement, which will feel probably more restricted as you twist from side to side. So a blowout through the lips is quite supportive. And just notice where you feel it. So there'll be a number of places, potentially. So we're just going to do 2 more each side. It isn't a big movement. Okay, and feet down. Hands behind you. Let's take a break. So let's extend the legs in front of us. This time you can just kind of press down through the legs, or you can carry on doing your side to side, whichever feels like, okay, I'm loosening a little bit of tension from the legs, and I'm allowing my back to just rest a little bit as well. Okay, so we've got 2 objects available for this. So I've got a brick, yoga brick. You may have a book, you may have nothing. Yeah, so you can choose that. We'll go on to a weight if you've got a weight next, if you want to carry on doing any more of this. So it's the same option, but obviously it helps a little bit with that space, supportive space between your elbows, and keeps your elbows maybe a little bit more firmly into center. So you can, if you've got something, use it. If you haven't, don't worry, you just do what we've previously done. Choose whether you want your heels down because you've done enough, or whether you want your heels off the floor. Choose whether you sit up or whether you lean back a little bit more. And then, so usually when we got something between the hands, we might find that we're moving our knees slightly side to side. You're limiting that action if you can. I just ended up taking my elbows too far away, so I'm just bringing them back in. Feel like the back of your back is lengthening rather than you're rounding if possible. So again, just 2 more each side. And then we've done 3 there, haven't we? Not very good at counting. Then put the feet back down. We'll go straight into an option. So again, you've got any of the ones we've done earlier, or a weight, and I've only got 1 weight, so this is a bit heavy for me, but I'm a bit of a weakling on weights. But if you've got a weight and you want to use a weight, then you find a weight. If you don't, then you do what we've done previously, or you do this when I'm not watching. Okay, so it can end up wanting, with a weight, you're tempting to have to work harder on getting your elbows and your upper arms down. Again, you know, what you might make you sit further forward rather than further back. So these are not always advantages, making it stronger. It may mean you're doing less work because you're having to compensate. So choose what you do, and then same action. We keep the elbows into the side, and we take our upper body to glance one way, to glance the other way. So see how the movement goes this time. So is it really jerky? Where's the kind of work going on in the body? What starts to give up first? Is it the belly? Does it feel like the side body? Is it too strong? Okay, so 1 more each side. And feet down, weight down if you've got a weight. So weight off me, right, just move that slightly out of the way. Okay, so we've got a few minutes to unravel now and just see how we are. So we're going to come back onto our back, returning to our back. So you'll get some feedback again on the back body, or the part of the the body that's actually got contact with the ground, so you'll know how your legs are. So it'd be interested, if you can, on kind of whether you can feel your ankle and your knee and the connection between that lower knee bone, and then can you feel your knee to your hips? Can you feel the bone from your knee into your hips? You may or you may not. Can you feel your inner thighs, your outer thighs? So we worked a lot of different places. We might be very aware of the places we worked in thighs, outer thighs. Okay, you might notice it's not always that easy in this position, how much tone you've been giving to your glutes. So how do the bum muscles feel? So I know some of you kind of need to be able to switch that off more clearly than switch it on. It can get locked in. Okay, and then seeing what's going on in the shoulders and upper back. What part of the upper back is touching the ground and giving weight through the ground? So you're looking to see as much weight from the rib cage up, having contact with the ground, and upper arms, if not lower arms, having contact. Okay, so we're going to keep the feet on the floor, but we're going to do as we did at the beginning. We're just going to let the knees float from side to side. So we're rocking and releasing around the center. So find what's nice for you as a rhythm. Soften a little bit more there. Okay, and then if you've got space, take the arms out at shoulder level. Take the feet wide, as the mat. So we're just doing a bigger, softer twist here. So let the knees drift over in one direction. You can roll on the head and look in the other direction if you want to. Just feel some length there for a moment. So even a little bit, whatever is your top side of the body, just feel a little bit of length by pressing through the knee, maybe there. So you're getting that lengthening through that top part of the body. Then let your knees come towards the sky, keeping that distance between your feet. Let the knees drift in the other direction, and maybe the head rolls in the opposite direction, and then just pressing a little bit, maybe into the knee, to get that length from the armpit down, all the way down the side body to the knee. And then just soften it now. So just go from side to side without lengthening, but just see if you can find the least line of resistance to rock across the pelvis and to unwind, whether you take your head and your gaze in the opposite directions, up to you. It gives you a little bit more of a twist through the spine, engaging the neck and the top of the spine a little bit more, but it's a rolling through the skull for that. Okay. So next time you're in neutral, come back with the knees just staying in neutral. Now you're heading for the sky. Bring the arms closer into the body, just wherever they're comfortable. Don't need to have them tight. In fact, don't want them tight by the body. Then extend the legs away for a moment and give the weight of the whole body onto the ground now. Feel the breath through the belly. So an in-breath will create a little bit of an expansion maybe through the belly, and the out-breath will create that return in towards the back. So it's kind of contraction and expansion. So you can just let that happen. You can exaggerate it a little bit if you choose to just create more of a loosening in the center. Suggesting you breathe through the nose, but if it's more comfortable to lengthen the breath and breathe out through the lips, go for that. Okay, folks, so let the breath get back to its normal, looking after itself time, and just kick the legs into the air and the arms, and just do a little bit of a shake out. Okay. A happy dog there, I can see. Okay, so our work is done for week 1, challenge 1, brush and twist. So rolling over, and we will leave it there. So if it's too much, there's all the things we did at the beginning can be enough to engage that work. Or you can go, once you feel confident, you're happy, you can just go straight into the twist. You can have weights, you can do it for longer, or not. Yeah, okay. Happy, healthy looking dog. So obviously I work well on the dog. So bye everyone. Thanks for coming. See you next week if you can make it. Take care. Bye-bye.